Hello, my gorgeous ones. Sorry, been drinking coffee, gotta reapply. Right, thank you ever so much for joining me for today. Now, what we are going to be doing today is... Sorry, I gotta get my glasses out so I can make sure I can read everything with clean glasses, because otherwise I can't read nothing. Okay, so my sweethearts, today's live topics are going to be... let me get this back up here. And these topics come from two very, very wonderful, wonderful posters here. Hi, Tanel. Welcome, my sweetheart. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Jen. Hi, Eddie. Okay. Hi, Iris. Hi. So, this is going to be a little bit of a different one because now we are watching, or sorry, no, we're talking about more so entities today. Okay, I know I normally speak about all of the good things. Hi, RK Sweet. Hi, Imran. Hi, everybody. Angelique. Hi, my sweetheart. So, we are going to go through the entities for today, okay? Because we are always trying to live within love and in light, which is freaking amazing. However, we do have an opponent in this game of life. So I'm going to be focusing today on these kinds of questions so we understand what it is we are seeing, what it is we are hearing, and how we can counter this. Because when you start playing this miraculously wonderful game of life, it is a game of the mind, okay? And like I've said to a couple of people today, when you're playing a game of the mind, you're playing chess, okay? And you do not want to be caught playing checkers when your opponent is playing chess, because they will run circles around you and be totally cool, right? So I want to help us avoid this for today. So let's go in here with the questions that we have. Now, the first question comes from the beautiful Hazel, who posted this to my timeline. Fulu, hello. Sorry, I gotta get the names right. I'm sorry. But hello, my sweetheart. Welcome. Right then. So, Hazel posts to my profile today. She asks, how do I decipher who is who when I see them in a dream or a vision? When I saw my consciousness, I didn't realize it was her until you informed me. I just saw another female, but I don't think she was my subconscious because he's male and Hazel isn't white. So what's left? Right. So let's have a look at this. Now, this question does come because the stunning Hazel has awakened her third eye, and she is now able to have visions of course, the ethereal and what is within the ethereal. Now, when you hear me say your entities of fear and suffering, what I am referring to is your subconscious entity and your conscious entity. Now, a lot of people believe that the subconscious is simply a deep, deep part of your mind, right? Oh, full of hello. Thank you. I'm glad I'm getting it right, because I swear I'm just like, how come I cannot pronounce things? It's terrible. But thank you so much, sweetheart. So now when we're speaking about your conscious and subconscious entities, again, people believe that, oh yeah, my consciousness is my subconscious. It's just a part of me. It's a very deep part of my mind that simply is where dreams come from. And, you know, it records information that it's hard to get kind of over sometimes, right? And we truly believe that the thoughts that go through our head come from us. They do not. They do not. And what I will say is when you start to recognize these entities, when you call them out for what they are, oh, the conversation changes. And I'll give you guys some examples, right? When I was asleep, when I didn't know who I was, when I didn't know I was Kulipup, right? And I thought I was just Ness. That's who I thought I was. I would often have, you know, thoughts of anxiety, worry, fear, doubt. I had, because of these fears, I had severe control issues. You know, I was very always easygoing, which I thought I was if I was in control of the situation. So whenever I lost control, I would find that these worries and anxieties would just literally bubble to the top. And I'd be like, what do I do? What do I do? Right? And I always thought that that was me. I thought it was me. And it's like, nah. Now, hi, Laura, sweetheart. Hi, Agneta. Hi, everybody. Now, what happened? When I started to raise my frequency, because raising your frequency, what this means is that you are vibrating so high that you can now start to find more patterns and understand the meanings of those patterns as you are watching them. Or as you are experiencing them unfold. So before, I wasn't vibrating. Hi, good evening, Adam, sweetheart. I wasn't vibrating at the level of understanding where I could pick up the pattern of the anxiety that I was having. I literally could not find this pattern. Oh, sorry, I don't need my glasses anymore. Right? So what happened, right, was I literally thought, oh, I'm in control, so I'm okay now, right? Not realizing that every time I was in a situation where I felt like I was out of control, it was because a thought was placed in my mind to trigger fear, frustration, and this anxiety. But as I raised vibration, I was picking up patterns in absolutely everything that I was seeing, right? Everything that I was seeing. Thank you very much, Vijay Singh. Rajput. Sorry, again, I'm bad with names. I go by phonics, but thank you very much. Now, right? I was picking out patterns. Now, when I say I was picking out patterns, I mean like in everything. If I watched the news, I couldn't dare believe the bullshit that was in the news. I'd be like, they're not really talking about healthcare. What they're trying to do is they're trying to manipulate people in using fear in order to follow through on their agenda, right? For human cattle herding and everything. So again, I was picking up patterns, and I started to focus my mind, because as I was picking up patterns, I then turn my attention from looking outwards and just be like, oh, well, I'm noticing all of those patterns. What are the patterns that are going on inside me? So I would sit with myself. I would sit with myself and I would analyze my thoughts and my behaviors, right? If I was doing something that caused me pain, confusion, frustration, or anxiety, I was like, you know what, why? Why is that causing me confusion? Because I don't actually feel like I'm confused on this. And that is when I picked up the patterns of the conscious and subconscious entities. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Because when I picked up those patterns, I questioned them. And and literally, when you're just sitting in silence, right? You can literally hear the whisper that goes into your ear. Because you're like, wait a second, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just listening in silence. Where did that thought come from? Right? So for example, what's a good example? Now, I haven't been in this situation for a long time, so I'm going to try to think of a good example for you. So, I was getting over my anxiety when it came to trusting in myself. Okay, because this is something that happens a lot when you are raising in frequency. Everything around you doesn't seem quite right, and the only person you can trust is yourself in that moment, right? However, when that moment comes where you need to trust yourself, it can be very, very difficult, because there's always the what if question that comes into your mind, right? So, for example, I was closing my business down. I was a very successful hairdresser. I had lots and lots of clients. I made lots and lots of money. I don't care about money. But I was very successful. Now, of course, when I was transitioning from having a business to saying, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm following my path. I need to teach people. I need to guide people. I had to close that business down. Now, as I was closing it down, I knew deep in my core that I was well and that I was following the right path that was meant for me in this lifetime, right? Because I knew that I could not help or contribute to changing the world and changing the minds of people to help heal people if I am stuck doing hair all day. That's not a good waste. That's not a good use of my time. So, and I knew that if I simply trusted in myself, I could follow the flow of the universe and it would guide me and take me where I needed to go, making the best decisions for me, for my family, if only I follow this flow. And how you follow the flow? You simply feel your heart. You do what is right and what feels good in that moment. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, whether that be physically or mentally, you do what you got to do, right? That is the flow of the universe. Now, so with that knowledge, I knew I was fine. You know, I knew that's all I had to do. However, when I was sitting in silence, you know, getting myself prepared for this transition, there was that silly little question, which was, what if? Right? What if this doesn't work? What if I'm going down the wrong path? What will I do for money? How will I support myself? How will I contribute to the family? You know, how will, and then all of a sudden, I was just like, wait a second. I literally had this conversation with myself. Why am I asking what if again? And that is when I questioned that thought. And instead of thinking that it was my own thought, because I'm like, no, this doesn't sound right. I said, in my mind, as I was there listening, and that when the what ifs came in, I said, who is that? You're not me. Why are you speaking? And that is when my entities decided to introduce themselves. Because no longer did I get a whisper of what if. What I got was, oh, hello. You finally realized I'm here. And I tell you, at the beginning, that scared the living shit out of me. Because I was like, oh shit. Holy shit, you just talked to me. Oh my gosh, this is all real. Right? And that's when I started paying more attention. Yeah, okay, yeah. When you notice the patterns of these entities, oh, you realize that they are not there for you and that they are not a part of you, right? And with that first initial recognition of what they were, I saw the pattern more clearly as they came in, because they didn't stop whispering because they want to feed off your negative energy, right? They want to feed off your fear. They want to feed off your confusion. They want to feed off all of the bullshit that this material, worldly life gives you. So, what happens? Well, I recognize that my conscious entity, the one that gave me the what ifs, right? If I attached myself to the what ifs, and what I mean by attached myself is, if they whispered in my ear, what if you can't feed your family? Now, I could say, screw you. You don't know nothing. I'm fine because I'm following the flow of the universe and I've got stores of energy that provides me with abundance in whatever I do. So I could do that, which is choosing to not focus on it and ignore it. That stops off the negativity from them being able to feed off of it. However, if I attached myself to that thought, so if they whispered in my ear, what if you can't feed your family? And if I then said, you know what, you're right. What if I can't feed my family? Oh no, and then anxiety would start. And then that's when your subconscious entity kicks in. Because your conscious entity poses the question of confusion. And then if you take on board that confusion and you start feeling the fear, that's when your subconscious entity kicks in and starts to generate it. they start pushing it real far and amplifying the feelings of doubt, of insecurity, of fear within you. And it keeps you in a pattern. This fear, it stops you from moving forward and keeps you in a pattern of things that are not for you, right? Jennifer, you say, how many does one have usually? I know it could be a lot. No, you have two. You have your conscious entity and your subconscious entity, okay? Hi, Rootless, my sweetheart. Now, how do we get rid of our entity? Well, my dear, I'm going to tell you how to do that right at the end, okay? Because you gotta know the backstory on this one, right? Because when you truly understand them, that is when you can truly start to play chess with them. And you're no longer playing checkers. So yeah, they make a move, but you know what? You make a move right back because you're getting ready to checkmate their ass, right? Sorry, you can probably tell I don't like entities. I have a very deep-seated dislike for entities because, again, when you have your subconscious entity and you call them out for what they are, that's when it all starts. So my subconscious entity, when I called it out and I said, hey, you're a dick. I don't like you. I ain't listening to anything that you are going to say. Any whispers in my ear, I'm not going to listen. So what it does is it gives really offhand comments, right? So for example, if I wanted to do something, like it literally picks up everything. If I look in the mirror and I'm perfectly calm, right? I'm not even thinking about anything. I'll look in the mirror just because it's the morning and I'm brushing my teeth. And you know what? Sorry, I'm going to use some profanity here. So if you don't like cuss words, then you're not going to like this because I need to tell you exactly how your subconscious will literally trigger all of this stuff. Okay? So if I were to look in the mirror, the first thought that would come into my mind was, you fat bitch. Right? And I'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I know you like this body. So it's like, well, if I'm a fat bitch, then you like it then, don't you? You know, that's how I would respond. However, but this was relentless. This was literally for a couple of months, I was having an onslaught of negative comments coming through in my ear. I was called a bitch. I was called a whore. I was called ugly. I was told, like, you know, you are nothing. You are worthless. You are the shit on my shoes. You're what's another word? It's like, you're a cow muncher. You know, any derogatory, self-degrading words that could come in, it would literally whisper into my ear. Now, I know that you're probably thinking, why are you doing that to yourself, Kulipup? But I wasn't. It was because I started to fight back with these entities, because I recognized the pattern and I said, hey, I'm not listening to your bullshit whispers anymore. But it had to generate power somehow. So it decided, both of them decided to literally hammer me with so much negativity on a consistent basis for months, right? Until I literally was so null and void to it that I'm like, I don't care. I could smile through anything, right? That is one of the reasons why I say you can say any bad thing you want about me and I can brush it off like nobody's business, because my subconscious and conscious entities, they already have said every horrible thing to me I could possibly think of in existence in order to try to suck negative energy out from me, right? So this is where I'm like, screw this. I'm no longer playing checkers. I'm playing chess with you. Every time you throw a derogatory comment at me, that's you moving a pawn. And I'm like, move all your pawns, because that only makes your king open to be taken. Right? And that's what I did. I opened up and I got that king, and now it's buggered off. Mary, you say, was this like learning to love myself? Right. You know those feelings that you get, that where you're just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't find the way to love myself. And it's because you have that little stupid bastard in your ear telling you you're not worthy. Who wants to love you? No one will ever love you, right? You're not beautiful enough. Oh, you're a bad person. You know, you're self-centered. You know, you don't amount to anything. You need a better job. You need a better this, right? So Mary, yeah, when you have trouble loving yourself, it is because you are being told lies constantly. That's why I tell people, get out of your head. Don't bother staying in your head, because if you are in your head, that's where they can get you. So you block out everything in your head and you feel with your heart, okay? You feel the love for yourself within your heart, because that pure tingle of vibration, of that frequency of love will overpower anything, right? But you got to get out of your head. So anyway, this is, of course, leading back. Now that we know I'll answer some of these here. Jennifer, you say, I go through that. That's how I am. Oh, bless you, sweetheart. Bless you. We all go through it, right? These entities are created directly from us. So every single person has one until you have evolved enough to recognize what it is and get rid of it, right? It's like literally cleaning your house, and your house is always clean. However, there's this weird black smudge that keeps finding its way there, and you're like, where does this come from? And you keep looking around trying to find where this black smudge comes from, and you never find it. So you end up just leaving it. It's like, nah. I realized that black smudge that was always there after I cleaned my house was because it was coming from my feet, it was coming from my heart, seeping down my leg, and I was walking around my house with it, messing up my house every single day, and I didn't even realize it, right? But as soon as I realized it, then I'm like, I know how to clean you off, because you are nothing but the shit on my shoes, you nasty little entity. Sorry, I have issues with entities, you could tell. Mary, I know exactly what you mean. Wonderful. Yes, feel that in your heart. That is how you love yourself. You feel your vibration, because it is so powerful and it is so beautiful. And I don't give a crap what anybody wants to say. If you are watching this, you have the ability to feel your heart and feel your vibration and feel yourself and feel this miraculous love and get the hell out of your head. You got the ability, right? Don't fall for their frickin' little manipulative tactics. So, Nikki, you say, hi, love. I was just about to go on YouTube to watch videos on how to get rid of this evil thing. Subconscious. It's been conjuring up all kinds of negative thoughts this morning, right? It does. Now, here's the thing. As you raise frequency, these little bastards get more power. So, this is why the evolutionary period is so difficult, because you have to clear out all of the shit that is on your feet that you have been dragging around your house, and it is 30 years or however old you are worth of crap that you have to get rid of. So this is why it is so difficult to go from you are in this pattern, right, of thinking of anxiety, negativity, and trying to be in control, to yes, you want to get to the other side where you're free, but it takes a while to clean 30 years worth of shit, right? It takes a long time. So this is why I'm always saying, when you are raising your frequency, raising your vibrations, do the inner work. The sooner you clean this shit off of your legs that you are tracing around your house, the sooner you will live in a beautifully clean house, right? But you got to recognize where the shit's coming from. Now, Orkay, you say, I think my negative entities controlled the majority of my life. Now this makes sense about not feeling my heart. Exactly. Now, here's the thing. When you start to feel and notice and recognize your entities, like I say, they push back. They hammer back hard because they know you see them now. You see them, you feel them, you understand them. So now they start playing the game seriously. And this is where, especially if you're part of my Frequency 51 group, It's the beginning parts of it feel amazing, right? Because you just start waking up and your eyes start opening and you're like, wow, this feels great. You know, I feel surges of energy. I'm learning new things. This is wonderful. And then you hit a point where you don't feel so good anymore. You feel like your energy is drained from you. You feel frustration, confusion, and you feel tired everywhere you go. You notice the negativity in other people. You kind of notice the negativity in yourself. And this is where a lot of people fall. Because it's as you raise your frequency, right? You gain more energy, which means that you are banishing this negative entity, all this bullshit. And they don't like it. Your entities don't like it. So they now start hammering you seriously. Because before, they would feed you little bits of frustration and anger and fear. Not so much that you go so far into depression where you want to take your own life, because if you do that, then they have no more food. So what they do is they keep you on a drip, right? Keep you on a drip cycle. So they give you a little bit of fear and anxiety every day so that they can continually eat over you for years and years and years. Now, oh, sorry, I'm way down on here on the comments, so I'm going to get to these in a second. However, right? So they're feeding on you. But now when you're raising frequency, you're raising energy, they're like, oh shit. We can no longer keep this person contained. We can no longer manipulate them as we have been doing for so many years. So let's hammer them back down to keep them in this lower frequency. And that is why I say, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. If you want to evolve, you've got to go through this process. You've got to recognize them for what they are and what they are trying to do to you. Recognize, be strong, and be vigilant. Every bloody negative comment that comes through to you in your mind, bypass it and just be like, nah, that's not real. It's a lie. Don't attach to it. Don't feed them, because it is a process. Have you ever played the game Risk, or the strategy games, like if you've played Reverse Eye, or I believe it's the Chinese version of chess, which is Go, or maybe played chess in itself, right? If you've ever played these, it's all about strategy. It's all about making very, very specific moves, setting up your board, right? So this is what you're doing. Every time you're taking in this negative bombardment of bullshit that these entities want to give you, you're setting up your board, right? So they give you a comment and you're like, ha-ha, I'll take that comment and I'm going to put my focus of love over here. And you keep doing it. Just don't attach to this shit. You just keep doing it. Keep setting up your board. Because there will come a time. It may take you a couple of weeks. It may take you a couple of months. It depends on how vigilant you are. But there will be a time when you can basically see this entity for what it is and go, checkmate, you little shit. Checkmate your ass. Make a move, I dare you. Because if you make a move, I'm going to delete you. And then you end up deleting them anyway. So, Jennifer, you say, Orke, you say, oh, sorry, no, we got that one. Jennifer, you say, I had to learn to love myself. I'm in tears now. Oh, sweetheart. When you know it is the manipulation that is going on. Because you know this, when they tell you that you are not worthy, that you are a bad person, that your appearance is not what it is. It's all a lie, because you are a being of love and you are a being of light. Love and light. There is nothing that can be ugly about this. There is nothing that can be degrading about this, because love is in its purest form is just beautiful. And it doesn't matter. Like, if these glasses were just pure love energy, they would be the most attractive freaking glasses I've ever seen in my life. I'd probably want to take these glasses to bed, right? Because that's how attractive the love energy is. So literally, my heart, Love yourself for your vibration, because there's no other way to do it. Right? Everything else is a bald-faced lie. Mary, you say, I don't listen to it anymore because I know I'm better than the words I hear. Right? Because it's all a freaking lie. Nikki makes me shake my head at people that say stop doing with your heart and start thinking with your head, as the evil subconscious awaits me. Hell no. Right? No. We have been thinking with our heads for centuries. And where has that gotten us? It's gotten us into a place of servitude. It's gotten us into a place where we are sick and destroying ourselves as a society from the inside. Listening to our heads has gotten us a lack of unity. Listening to ourselves has gotten us disease, cancer. Right? Listening to our heads. Listening to our hearts nullifies all that bullshit. So Nikki, you listen to your heart, my sweetheart. Everybody, listen to your heart, because frickin' subconscious entities, they're such assholes. Mary, you say, yes, it's very strong feeling your love, right? Oh, it's beautiful. And you think, like, how could I ever feel anything else? Jennifer, you're talking my language. Yeah, go kick your ass. Nikki, 46 years of crap I need to get rid of. I got this. You totally freaking do. Just got to be aware of it. Aruntless, you say, for more than 2 years, I had this love-hate relationship with my body and weight. All that guilt while eating food I love. So many whispers day in, day out. Oh, Aruntless, I tell you, when it comes to food, that's where they get you, because it's one thing that you need in order to survive and you cannot escape from. And it's a great way to cause guilt. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are getting the whispers that from your heart that say, oh, maybe I should eat a few more vegetables, maybe I should not have this fat, then that's probably a healthy thing. However, if you get the thoughts, just remember, your heart will never degrade you. So if you are caught between a rock and a hard place where you're just like, I really, really want that cake or that chocolate or those fries, your heart's never going to say, oh, you're going to get fat, you know. Or, ooh, your heart never says that. Your heart will only encourage you to maybe make a better choice, but will never degrade you for making the choice that you have. And to be honest with you, if you've eaten too much fatty foods, or if you've eaten too much poor foods, you're going to start to feel it. You're going to just start feeling bad because of it. And then that naturally, especially if you're a vegan or vegetarian, will put you off of the bad foods in the first place. Sometimes it takes people a couple of months when they're going through the transition. I know it did for me. When I started doing this, I literally ate like absolute rubbish for the first 6 months. I didn't have any meat, but I ate a lot of cake. I ate a lot of cookies. I ate a lot of bad things. However, when my body, as I was still raising frequency, when my body became healthier, there was an automatic switch. It was just automatic where I'm just like, you know what? I don't feel like so much cake anymore. I just don't have cravings for it. And it's because my heart became stronger. And it was just a gentle, hey, we're just going to go this way. And I was like, okay, let's go this way. So, Rootless, if you are feeling guilt, guilt is fear. Fear is of the subconscious. So if you are picking up something, let's say you're picking up some fries or something, and you feel guilt, know that that is your subconscious. If you want to eat those fries, eat those fries. Because your body will literally start to regulate itself at some point anyway. So there's nothing really to fear. Jennifer, you say take it area by area, right? Good. Oh, Hazel, wonderful, you made it. Hazel, I've just been explaining what the entities are in the first place. So don't worry, I've not even gotten to your question in detail. Tannel, you say, my mind is blown. Thank you for explaining this so clearly. Oh, you're very welcome. We all need to know it, right? And by all means, if you're listening to this now and you find that this information is helping you, please share it. If we all knew about our subconscious and conscious entities, then we can all start playing chess. And we can all start checkmating these little bastards, right? And getting them away from us. Because, like, why do we want to live in fear, anxiety, and frustration, and doubt, and all of this, right? It sucks. Okay, so where we got here? Jade, hello, my gorgeous. Hello. Oh, I love you too. Oh, bless you. Okay. So let me have a look here. Jennifer, you say, I have had to learn how to do this. Have for a long while now. Yep. Susan, hope I'm reading mine properly because I'm trying so hard for love and it comes to me. Yes. If you're feeling it, that's all that matters. As long as you are feeling that vibration, this is what matters. Iris, I don't hear this bad voices often anymore, right? Because you're evolving. You're using your power wisely to say, screw you, you little shit. I'm not listening anymore, right? Because with the evolution comes awareness. And with awareness, you can start to change the shit because you are now aware of the consequences of the actions you're about to take. So you can choose the better course of action. Playing that game of chess. Wonderful. Okay, you say the worst is when one has a family member or friend that feeds your entity. Ah, this is it though, sweetheart. Nobody can feed your entity but you. What they can do though is they can collaborate with each other. So for example, if you've got a family member who is downright just miserable, right? Their entity is going to feed them thoughts to then trigger you, right? So they can collaborate. They, like literally, when I say these entities are right there, I mean they are right there. And I'm going to describe what they look like, okay? Because we got to stop thinking that they're just some mystical creatures that don't have a form. They have a form and it's creepy as shit, okay? It's creepy as shit. And when you actually see them, you're just like, what the shit are you? And it's really gross. And it's like, ugh. Anyway, I'll describe that in a minute. So if your entity, if your family members are sick and they have a lot of entities and they're feeding off of their negative energy, literally they will trigger that family member to say things to you, which then would trigger you, and then all your entities is like, yum, let's have a smorgasbord and let's enjoy this night together while we feast on all of this pain and frustration. Screw them. Okay, so let's have a look. Susan, you say, and also your heart will bring people to you. After I've put them right on negativity, I'm finding I have someone round every day again, and Rick is happy. Yes, that's it. When you feel your heart, that love pours out. Your energy increases. It literally shines and banishes any of this negativity, right? You know that saying, love conquers all? It freaking does. If you know how to use it, it really does. When you understand the game you're playing, when you've set your moves in position, when you have your pawns in position, your knight in position, you know, your bishops are already there, that when that negativity comes in and they want to place their piece in your territory, you've already killed it. You've already taken that piece and said, nope. And then soon your board is full of pieces and its board is empty because you've taken all of that negativity and converted it into your own love energy. And then you're dishing out that love energy. So everybody else is like, hey, show me how to play that game, right? So, Jennifer, I share all your videos in my group. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, my sweetheart. Thank you. I hope it's helping the people in your group and hopefully helping you too. So, Aruntless, only recently I am feeling lighter, no burdened by that guilt and constant mind chatter about food and weight. I am able to focus on other things, and I am eating better on my own and not because of guilt. Excellent. Excellent. Because at the end of the day, Aruntless, I want you to think, right? Your body is your own. If you love your body, then it doesn't matter who else loves your body. Because you love your body, right? And when you feel good, when your body is healthy, even when you're just sneaking that cheeky chocolate and you're just like, screw it. I'm eating this chocolate, I'm eating this cake because I want to and it makes me happy. No guilt. You feel good, right? And it allows your body to then indulge in this wonderful, tasty morsel. And then when you're truly hungry, you eat proper food. This restriction that we have can often lead to the binging later, which then causes even more guilt, right? But food and the subconscious entities, they freaking eat that shit alive. Christy, you say, wow, this is so good. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm glad that you are enjoying it, my sweet. So, now, let's understand, what do these little shits look like? Okay? Sorry, I am going to cuss in this one. Okay? Because it is the only way I am speaking the truth of my heart. And it is the only way I can describe entities. Is either the shit on my shoes or the little shits that they are, because I cannot stand them. Okay? So, what does your entities look like? Now, your subconscious entity is always male. Okay? They are always male. So, if you are a clairvoyant individual, right? If you're clairvoyant, when you calm your mind, now you may not be able to astral project right now, but I'm telling you, with this awakening period, things are going to start working, okay? Things are really going to start working. You're going to start seeing things. You're going to start perceiving things. You're going to have little shadows out the corner of your eye where you're just like, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? Right? Or you're going to feel things. You're going to feel like there is this odd presence next to you, and it's just like, ew, what is that? Now, if that presence feels very lovely and very happy, then you'll know that it is no doubt your spirit or your guide who is there, and then welcome that presence if it feels good. However, if you feel a presence that feels slimy, oh, it's terrible. So, your conscious entity will either be male or female. If you are female, it will be female. If you are male, it will be male as well. But it can switch from male to female. But generally, if you're female, it's female. If you're male, it's male. So you're going to have two. Right? Susan, you say 100%, this is just fantastic and love to my ears. Wonderful. I'm so pleased. Orke, you say, I'm starting to see shadows after watching your third eye video. Yeah, because we're waking up. The more you acknowledge that this is there, the more you start to see, the more the veil is literally lifted from you. And you are no longer bound by the veil of this little checkers board that you have been seeing all your life, where you're just like, okay, I'm going to move there, I'm going to move there. No, the veil gets lifted and you see that you've been playing chess, a very, very intense version of chess your entire time, your entire life. But anyway, so I'm going to describe to you what it is, what your subconscious entity, I'm going to describe to you what my subconscious entity looks like, which yours will no doubt look very, very similar, and what my conscious entity look like and how they behave when they are around you. Okay? Susan, you say, but could I ask, can a protector feel dark? No. You, Susan, yourself, you're a very, very powerful empath, as you know, and very sentient, too. If it doesn't feel good, it is not good. Because you can discern between somebody feeling upset and somebody feeling just like frickin' negativity and giving you the heebie-jeebies, right? So when you have for example, I have spirits around me all day long because I am the guide to your spirit guides, right? When your spirit guide can't seem to get through to you, they come to me because they're like, hey, Kulipup, I can't get through to my avatar. I can't get through to the person that I'm charged with. Can you please send them a message so that they can listen to me? Or how can I guide them? So they come to me so I can come to you, right? So we can get this message done. And often what I feel is, with spirits, I feel sadness. I don't feel negativity. I feel their hearts, which are beautiful, which are full of love, which are just full of nothing but virtue. But what I do feel is their frustration, and I feel their sadness. But I don't feel negativity. I just feel like the same way when you come across an individual, Susan, and you just want to help them, that's how your spirits feel. But versus coming across an individual where you're just like, no, you're dangerous. You give me the heebie-jeebies, and you're just disgusting. Mary, you say, what is it when I catch something out of the corner of my eye that is dark black, almost like a figure? Yes. And Sarah, you say, what kind of entities show themselves in pictures? Now, the camera, it really does depend. The camera will pick up at times certain, like, you know, like when the lighting is right, when everything, like where everything is there, it picks up the spectrum. Kind of like when you're taking a picture of a rainbow or when you see a rainbow, something like that. You know, you're catching the light at the right angle, so you're able to see that light spectrum. So a camera will pick up lots of different kinds of entities. It will pick up either entities that are not from you, or it will pick up your subconscious or conscious entities, or it may pick up your spirit or your own energy, your own aura, right? It could pick up other things. So it really does depend on the lighting on that, but anything and everything can come through. It just depends on whether you got the timing right. Susan, you say, yes, I have a very dark man, sits in my lounge, but don't feel a threat from it. That is your subconscious. Susan, that is your subconscious. And this is what they look like. So, your subconscious, as mentioned, is always a guy. Okay? Always a guy. Normally, they are porcelain black. Okay? Now, when your vision gets very, very strong, and you can physically make out what it is, you will see that and when I say porcelain black, I mean like black like my glasses. Okay? There is no melanin or lack thereof of melanin. It is not like that. They are seriously just literally black figures. Okay? Porcelain. Now, when my vision started to work a lot, they were kind of shiny. Like, I mean porcelain shiny. Now, and I mean like lips, if it opened its mouth, it had teeth though. It had white teeth. And its eyes would either be, they would be dark black or red, depending on what I've done for that time. Now, let's have a look here. Oh, Susan, sorry. By the way, you said, I have a very dark man, sits in my lounge, but don't feel a threat from it. That's because it's going to be in a neutral state. Okay? The block that I put on your heart there, Susan, just to stop you from increasing in your power, it puts your subconscious neutrally. Because it can't feed off of anything more than you're giving it. So it kind of puts you both in a state of, well, shit. So, now these entities will normally be within a 12-foot radius of you. Okay? They don't leave you, because if they leave you, that means that they have to take more power away to get the power to leave you, right? They can't be away from you for very long. So they're normally always within the same room as you, or within a 12-foot radius of you. Let's have a look here. Sarah, you say, I had gotten a picture you can see face. I sent you it. It was about 2 months ago. You had told me it was an entity. Just curious what kind it was. That was a separate entity. That was a separate entity that found you and was trying to be with you with that one. But I totally got rid of that one as soon as I saw it. I froze it where it was when it was around you, and I made it watch as it was slowly dissolved. I'm like, you will watch as from your feet, you are going to watch your demise and your death as it happens. Because I was creatively cruel. Okay, so anyway, so your subconscious is always a porcelain black person. Okay? Porcelain black person. Again, its eyes, if it was in a neutral state, or if a state that it felt like it was in control, would be completely black. So again, completely black. It was bald. Didn't have any hair. However, if it smiled, it had it had white teeth, and it was really creepy. So I want you to just think of kind of like that. If I got it really pissed off, though, its eyes would be glowing red. Like all of it would just be red. All of it would just be red, and I'm like, yeah, you like that, you little bastard. Oh, look at me some more. Look at me some more. I dare you. So we had that going on. Arutless, you say, yeah, I have been catching those too. Dark, shadowy figure passed so quick that I wondered, am I just imagining things? Nope, you are not. Okay, yes, fast shadows in the corner of my eyes. Yep. Susan, also, I have so many energies. Cats, birds, people. When in the hot tub, so many smells from different people. Yes, it's when I'm in the hot tub that this man show comes. It's smoky, black shadows, lol. Yes. I tell you, when you are raising in frequency and you are giving it more energy, it starts to solidify a lot more. But then at that point, it's harder to get rid of. This is why I tell everybody, do inner work now. Don't give it a chance to gain so much energy that it literally can solidify and start messing with your timelines, start messing with just so much shit, right? Sarah, lol, you're just so awesome. Others that I showed that picture to were shocked, lol. Yeah, well, I am not scared of entities because I know I can burn them off in a crisp, like really quickly. It's more of the thrill of the hunt with me. When it comes to entities, I'm like, give me an entity. I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to really just like, oh, you're playing with me now. Mary, you say, I never saw a face. It's always is big and black. Yeah. But as I say, as you gain more power, everything starts to become defined. So this is why we just want to leave it be. We don't even want to give it the chance to come into that point. Samir, oh, thank you. I have no clue. I think you wrote in Arabic, or Arabic, and sorry, I don't speak Arabic, but thank you very much for saying, going in English. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, but this is your subconscious entity. Now, Susan, especially for you and for everybody else that is also empathic and especially sentient out there, you can feel when it comes close to you, when it is trying to whisper to you. Oh, it's just disgusting. When my subconscious entity, what it did, right? Because it had to literally focus so hard on me to try to penetrate my defenses. Because when you gain control of your mind, when you literally have done not only your inner work, but your meditation, and you know how to block out this bullshit that it wants to speak to you. So what it would do, it would have to focus on me, right? Before, so for example, if you are in the lower frequencies, you can totally have them sit on the couch and they'll be able to say whatever they want to say and you'll pick it up because the connection that they have had so much control. But when you take away that control, they have to now really work for that energy. So my entity, like literally, would be right in my face, having to focus intently with its nasty little red eyes, and its smell would come off of it. The smell of rotting garbage, right? It would just fill my nostrils and fill my mouth, and it was just like, oh, what is that? And then when you go into the ethereal and then you see this face right there trying to focus. And like literally you feel the heaviness, the weight of the focus that it's trying to do, trying to cause you fear, trying to cause you suffering. Right? It is disgustingly foul. It is disgustingly foul. So what do we got here? Sorry, I'm going to go up here. Balamurali Krishna. I hope I pronounced that right. I don't think I did, but hello, my sweetheart. Mary, you say, what is it when I see something white or like off-white glimpses of something? Ah, that is when you are seeing glimpses of your spirit. If it is, your spirit has a, I'm going to get one of my wonderful yellow pieces of paper for this one. Your spirit often comes in a form of a white light, and it will look like a shimmer. So for, when you're seeing the shine, like if you want to see the shine of my glasses right there, you know how quick that happens? It's like out of the corner of your eye, you just see a glimmer of something. You're like, what the hell is that? That's your spirit. Or if you start seeing lights like this, they look like little sparks, okay? But they're normally very long, elongated that way, and not so, and shorter this way, right? That is also your spirit. That is literally the light just catching them and reflecting off of them. Whereas the dark shadows, that's your subconscious. Because your spirit is of love and light, so it produces light. Your subconscious is black. Black porcelain. And absorbs light, so you see a shadow, right? So this is how we know. Onala, you say, I believe it was because you could actually see a face, not just a shadow. Yeah, people, oh, in your photo, though, Onala, I definitely know that. Because when you see a face, you see how prominent it is. And you have to remember, this is when you started in the group and you started to raise your frequency. So you no longer were attracting just these little dark clouds of negativity around you. You started attracting formed entities, right? Which want to feed more off of you, right? Because you are more powerful. So this is why I'm always just like, hey, do your inner work, get this out of you first. Because Kulipup gets right to it and gurs it long. Freaking hate entities. I really hate them. Susan, oh my God, I'm tingling all over, but makes smile, need to fizzle it to the light. Yes, exactly. Yes. Oh, Samir, you're very welcome, my dear. Okay, wow, I can't believe how much power I have given my entities. I hope to learn how to get rid of them. Yes, definitely. Definitely. When you get rid of these bastards, guess what you feel? You feel freaking fantastic. You feel like you wake up and you're just like, woo! You know, you are dancing, you have so much energy, and you're like, holy shit, this is great. Like, I literally wake up every day dancing and singing. I sing in the shower. I sing when I'm getting my coffee. Like, I'm literally doing the old people like, do, 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 when I'm making coffee, because I have my energy. As soon as I got rid of those entities, look at my skin. My body gains so much energy that I can now go completely makeup free. I don't have to use any products on my body whatsoever, because I have enough energy to literally renew and replace my cells. As one dies, another gets, as one cell dies, another cell is reproduced, because my body has enough energy, because I'm not feeding no blasted little shithead entity of negativity and pain. Because, again, that's what people don't recognize, is that this energy that you are giving to your entity can be used in the physical. Can be used. And you can use it for your body. You can use it for manifestation. You can use it to give to others if you want to. Right? Don't give it to these little bastards. Okay. Susan, you say, I have them when I meditate. White light, same as your picture. Yeah. Because when you're meditating and you're calm and you're silent and you're just like, you know what, I'm going to find this. That's when you're feeling your heart. And that's when those entities can't get to you, because you're in control. Christy, you say, need some help with my husband that I've gotten. I've gotten it away, but has kept forcing back too, through him. And he's not woke enough yet to help and fight that shit away and off. Yeah. That's the thing, right? When it comes to these subconscious entities and these conscious entities, when they are produced from your own heart, I could delete them every single day for you. However, if you keep producing them, they come right back. Because every time you have a thought that is inconsistent or of confusion, it's like literally a bell summoning them to come back to you. Right? Because you are creating the frequency. They are a byproduct of the negativity that was generated from your thoughts. And once they are created, what they do, and especially if you've gained in frequency and you are high in power, what they do is, and if they're still feeding off of you, they literally go into your brain and switch connections. Connections that trigger you to think more negatively. Connections that disconnect you from the feeling of your heart so that you cannot feel this anymore. And so that they can continually now start to control you on a higher level. If they can't bring you down, they're going to try to control you. And that means, of course, removing connections and creating new ones of negativity. Throwing siphons in your heart, in your root chakra, in your sacrum, in your solar plexus, in your heart. They will put siphons everywhere, implants everywhere, in order to keep this negativity generating, right? If your husband does not address this. Or put it this way, Christy, if you wanted your husband, if you want to make him well, and if you want to get this entity away, stop focusing on the entity and focus on him. Get him to a place where he can now express himself and stop producing the negativity in the first place. Okay? That's what I do. That's what I did with my husband too. As we were evolving and I was seeing the control and the manipulation that was going on within him, I said, nah, I see what's going on here. So I'm not going to focus on this entity, which, by the way, his entity was always telling me, I hate you, Kulipup. I hate you. That was just like, yeah, I'm going to get you out of him. Until I get my evil eyes. And so I focused on my husband's heart. I focused on, we have what we call inner work walks, where Lipup and I, if he's feeling frustrated or anything like that, we'll go out for a walk in nature where we have no distractions. We have nothing. And it'll just be like, hey, tell me how you're feeling right now. And we'll just talk to each other. And we'll clear out the negativity that way. And that's how I kept his subconscious at bay until, you know, it's no problem. And he can then recognize this for himself. And he's now at the place where he can recognize his own subconscious. And he knows how to bypass it. Because we literally stopped feeding it with that way. Herolden, I love you. I love you. Herolden, you are beautiful. I love you so much. Oh, I love all of you. Goodness. Oh, Nala, I love you. Adam, Jade, I love you. I love you all. Goodness. Sorry, get me all like, Okay, when we get rid of our entities, then will other people's entities back off too? Yes, they will. Because another individual's entity, if you are more powerful than it, it does not want to make itself known to you. There is no entity in existence that wants me to know its frequency. It does not want me to find its energy signature. Because you know what happens? When I find the energy frequency of an entity of fear or pain or suffering, I bind it. It tries to run. I tell you, it tries to run. But no, just with a thought, I'm like, no, you're bound. You will stay right there. Oh, sorry, I have the evil feelings in me because I love this feeling. It is the thrill of the hunt, right? You bind them. And then you're like, I'm going to let you sit there. And I'm going to let you think of all the ways that I'm going to get rid of you, right? It's like a game of Saw, you know, like, whoa, shall we play a little game? Except for I'm the one in the mask on the tricycle. And I'm like, oh, you watch him sweat. But the thing is, the way I look at it is the same. You know when people are like, you got your mama bear protecting her cubs? I'm that mama bear. And I'm like, oh, you've been messing with my cubs, have you? Oh, I'm taking you down. And I'm going to make you feel all of the fear, pain, and suffering that you have made my cub feel. And you are going to rule the day that you ever decided to make yourself known to me. So, yes, okay, when you gain more power than the entity that is there, they will try to run from you. And you could do what I do and be very creatively cruel and just bind them and get all of your just like, yes, you know what, I feel good about this. Oh, like, you know, some entities, like my subconscious entity, oh, I castrated him. I did. Because that's the one way they like to take energy from, if you are a female, of course, they like to, they use their thallus to insert it either in your back, or if you are tricked and you are married, for example, or they can trick you into having sex with them, basically. When you have sex with them, their thallus is able to reach your solar plexus. Right? Because your sacrum is generating a lot of energy at that point, and it's coming right from your solar plexus. So when they are able to penetrate you, they can siphon off a shit load of energy from you. Okay? And so they want to do that. So at one point, I was just like, with my subconscious, I'm like, I castrate you. Every single time you have a filthy little thought, you will look down and there will be nothing there. And then I took away his mouth. I'm like, you have no mouth. And then he got really pissed off, and he's just like, I will get you through your thoughts, that I can still, like, you know, telepathy and everything. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to scramble your thought frequency. So every time you try to communicate with me, or every time I say anything, it's going to sound like gibberish to you. And so it was, of course, really frustrating. And I'm like, yep, that's what's going to freaking happen. Adam, is that who I'm wishing good night, sweet dreams, and love and light to as I shut the door every night? An entity? I hope not. Adam, re-ask that question, or let me know in what contents. Are we talking about light, or are we talking about dark? Because I definitely don't want you to be kissing your subconscious sweet dreams and hugs and kisses and stuff. No, we don't want that. Christy, it's only him, no one else. F that, girl. Right, though? Oh, you're welcome, Christy, my sweetheart. I am way down on this. I'm going to have to go further down here. Mary, you say, it would be so nice to have someone to talk to and with like that. You know what, though? Inner work walks, I'm assuming this is for the inner work walks. It really, really is. However, if you don't have somebody to talk like that, talk to yourself like that. You know, literally, just go for a walk with yourself and just be like, hey, what's bothering me today? Just let it out. Just be truthful with yourself, you know, and just be like, you know what? I hate work. I really do. I don't like my manager. I don't like my colleagues. I don't like what I do for a living, and it pisses me right the F off. Right? Just have a walk and just have a conversation with yourself. Inner work walks can be done as a partnership, or they can be done solely. Either way, they're wonderful walks to have. Definitely. Definitely with a nice little sativa spliff too. Herolden, I said, I love that we watch the amount of craziness about the hunt. I know. I'm sorry. I go a little bit far out on that, don't I? Oh, Christy, you say, I see you as a mad scientist right now. Like, yeah. I do. I kind of go a little bit far into it. I know this. Oh, bless you guys. Oh, Orke, how do you know when they try to trick you to have sex with you? Ah, very, very good question. Very good question. What they do is, okay, your subconscious entity can focus their energy on your sacrum. When they focus their energy on your sacrum, they can generate the feelings of an orgasm. Okay? Now, if you're like when you get horny at that point, what they will do is then they will trigger whatever way of release that you have. If you're a guy and you're addicted to porn, for example, that you may get a whisper going, we should watch some porn. And you'll be like, yeah, because now you're all horny, right? So you'll get the whisper, you should watch some porn, and be like, yeah, right? And then, or if you're a woman, right, you'll get all the feelings, the tingles and everything. Now, if you're a lady that watches porn, you'll be like, yeah, I want to watch some porn. If you're not a lady that watches porn, maybe you like romance novels, or maybe you're just like, you know what, I'm going to sit with myself, right? And I'm going to do my business. However, whilst you are doing your business, there may be a fantasy that pops up in your head. And the thing is, when you are distracted by these feelings of arousal, you can start to agree to a lot of things without knowing what you're agreeing to. So, for example, you may have the scenario of, oh, or let's say you're watching porn and you're like, wow, that chick looks amazing. I would love to have sex with that woman. Okay? And then you're going to have a thought going, would you have sex with her right now? And you'd be like, yes, that is the consent they need. Like, or they'll say, do you want to have sex? And if you say yes, if you agree to it in your mind, that is you giving them consent to penetrate you. If you are a woman, right? If you are a woman and you have thoughts of, you know, you're aroused and you're just like, oh, I really could use a man right now. Or I could use another woman if whatever way you swing, it doesn't matter. But if you're like, oh yeah, I could really have some sex right now, and you just get the, should I? Or can I have sex right now? You get that whisper in your ear, and as soon as you say yes, bang, it happens. You've given your consent. Your energy gets taken, right? And it's freaking horrible. Oh, Adam, you say the shadow, or dear, sometimes I see it in the doorway. Yeah, Adam, that is not something you want to whisper good night to. If you see the flashing lights of bright light and little sparks, please say good night to those sparks. But if you are saying good night to a shadow, please do not say good night to a shadow. They are not good. Jade, I want to start walks in my area to help people talk. Come to me on one of our walks, so it's in planning stages. I think that's beautiful. That is actually something I wanted to do in the springtime. I wanted to invite people down to my local natural area, and we can have groups where we walk and have expansive conversations and do some inner work if we need, and just ask questions. It would be wonderful. So I agree with that. Okay, so I've gotten caught up on all my comments here. Now, that is your subconscious entity. Now, what about your conscious entity? Your conscious entity, if you are a woman, normally looks very opposite to you. Okay? They can come in any sort of look, if you want to say. Now, Hazel saw her consciousness at one point, and this was Hazel, I believe it was the lady with dark hair, and she looked really creepy in a white dress or something like that. I think so. You can. I know you sent me the message, and I can have a look. But my conscious entity is female, and what she looks is like basically the opposite of me in a way. She had, again, porcelain black skin. Porcelain black. Very shiny. But she had long, or she had, because she's not in existence anymore, she had long, wavy blonde hair. Honey blonde, like golden. Right? Golden honey blonde. Now, the conscious entity shows up in various different ways. Right? Various different ways. Hi, Nancy! At first, the very first time I saw my conscious entity, she was disguised. She looked like a very, very old lady. Right? Hazel, yes, that's correct. Really pale. Yes, thank you, sweetheart. My conscious entity looked like a very old lady. She tried to come to me so I could take advice from her. She pretended she was me. She said, oh, I'm you. And I'm like, why are you a very, very old lady? And I'm sorry, she was Caucasian, which just was, I was just like, why are you an old, very old, wrinkly Caucasian lady? Not that I have anything like, I see angels who are stunningly beautiful all day long, right? Because that's what angels look like. That's what your higher consciousness, those beautiful white lights that are popping in front of you. I mean, when you can get the vision of your guide, of your true higher consciousness, your true self, they are freaking stunning. They're just like models, like walking all over the place. Like perfectly Adonis-like bodies, totally chiseled and ripped, and just beautiful faces with features. So I was just like, why you be looking like a prune, you know? And it was so odd, because I'm like, I don't connect with you in any way. You're not me. You keep telling me you're me, but you're not me, because you're weird, right? You don't look anything like me. And then she changed. The next time I saw her, she was very, very short. She had leathery brown skin, but the same kind of weird old hairdo, and still really wrinkly. And I'm like, who the hell are you? You know, again, they're not as threatening, right? Your conscious entity causes confusion. So every time she changed her image, it was just confusing me. Until I was like, you're my freaking conscious entity. And then the transformation, when the illusion was taken off, then I saw her in her, you know, just porcelain black skin and long blonde hair. And again, white teeth, like, ha, 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 you know, like I was just like, you're like, you ass. And that's what I was. Now, your conscious entity normally sits in wait. Both of them, your subconscious and conscious entities, are always together. Normally, they are collaborating with each other. If you sit in silence and you are very good with either your telepathy or your cognizance, you can actually sit and listen in on the conversations if they are not aware that you are tapping into their thought frequencies. And the things I heard, you know, how should we get her this time? No, she'll figure that out. Yeah, we can't do that. Okay, I'm going to do this. You do that, okay? It's like, they were collaborating. I'm like, you little bitches, you know? And when I would astral project, because I can astral project at will, I can literally split my mind into two, and I can astral project now and see who is around me in the room whilst I'm talking to you, although that takes a lot more focus and I don't want to do it. But either way, I would constantly see them in the corners, far enough away from me that they wouldn't be burned off by my light if they came any closer, right? But close enough that they can still try to influence me as and when they could. Now, for Hazel did ask specifically. I just saw another female, but I don't think she was my subconscious because he's male and Hazel isn't Caucasian. So what's left? Hazel, your conscious entity will shift its appearance. It will. It will come to you in various different forms, okay? Your conscious entity can do that too. When they think you are blind to what they look like, they will normally be in their regular form. However, when you become aware of who they are, they don't want you to know who they are, so they're going to shift their appearance each time to cause you confusion until you no longer look at their appearance and you feel their energy signature so you know who they are, right? Because it was like I mentioned in my, what video was it? I believe it was my empath training. The subconscious, for me anyway, because everything is aligned, its energy signature triggers right down here, more so around my sacrum. And my conscious entity is more so right where my solar plexus is. Now, my heart though, any spirits who speak to me, any love and light beings are in my heart. So I know that if I'm feeling the feeling down here, I know it's the subconscious. If I'm feeling the feeling right here, I know that is the conscious entity. So that is what I'm going to suggest that you do. Hazel, yes, that sneaky bastard. I know, right? This is what I'm saying. You start going, you little shit, you know? So they're going to switch their appearance up to keep you in a state of confusion. How many, a subconscious entity, when my subconscious entity was very powerful, it used to mimic, it would try to mask its frequency with the spirits I was seeing. So at one point, when your spirits come to me, I would have to really focus and just be like, what is your energy frequency? Because sometimes I would astral project and I would be studying them and I'd just be like, and they'd be like, oh, so Kulipup, what are you doing? And I'd just be like, nothing, I'm just looking. And then I would scratch I would take my energy, my nail, and I would scratch down their neck or like a little bit on their cheek. If it was my subconscious entity, where I scratched, you would see a fingerprint of just porcelain skin, like the skin was being taken away, like the illusion was being opened up. However, if I would do that, and it was just light energy, I'd be like, oh, sorry, babes, you know, or sorry, spirit. Didn't mean to do that, but it was what is necessary at the time, until you again learn to feel the frequencies, and then you no longer have to scratch. What I did find though, because when you start to astral project and when you start to see the ethereal around you, you will see your spirit, and you will see them for all their beautiful glory that they are, because again, they are freaking stunning. This is one of the reasons why I love to get to know your spirits, because I'm just like, you are so gorgeous. So I get to bask in all the beauty and everything. I'm like, oh. However, what I found was that the subconscious entity, whenever I went to give your spirit a hug, and if they were masked, the subconscious entity would always try to bite me on my neck. And I'd be like, whoa, what the hell? And then it would be an automatic force them back in the ethereal. And I'd be like, ah, you tricky little bastard. So literally, yeah, with Hazel, you use that sneaky bastard. Yeah, I'm like, tricky little bastard. And it's horrible. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. So we've got Samantha. You say, where is the shadow's origin? I understand that they are planted in our subconscious. I feel as though they are what binds us to the matrix reality. Thoughts? Oh, Samantha, you came in a little bit late, my sweetheart. No, the shadow is your subconscious. It's not within or planted in your subconscious. It is your subconscious. And your subconscious is created by the negative thoughts that produce this kind of black goo that comes out of your heart. And if you don't stop that black goo from coming out, that basically gains more energy, forms your subconscious, and that's what your subconscious eats or lives off of. That's what your conscious entity and your subconscious eats and lives off of. So this is why when we are having negative thoughts, we want to cut that off as soon as possible so that we give it nothing else to feed. Okay. Jade, you say, when I was young, we had an old lady that used to take us in the garden to play and kept us safe from what was going on in the house. She was old and white. Who was that? Me and both my sisters all saw... Sorry, let me get this back up. Me and both my sisters all saw her. Let me have a look here. Oh, that was your source fractal spirit guide. So, not Oriostyan, of course, is you, Jade. And Oriostyan is, of course, your higher consciousness, who is your guide. That lady in white was basically Oriostyan's teacher, right? Who took you guys and just be like, hey, come on, babes, we're gonna play in the garden then. You know, let's have a great day and keep you safe. So that was the guide of your spirit. So I hope that helps. Okay. Hello, everybody. Virgin, you say, Ness, I've been with migraine. Is that something? Oh, if you've had a migraine? Yeah. If you've had a migraine, or if they do headaches, like, you know when I said the subconscious would come right in my face and focus really hard? It would be focusing so hard that it would cause a pressure just constantly going on my forehead. And it was just like, ah. It's very, very frustrating. Now, your migraines can be one of two things. It can actually be the purposeful infiltration of your subconscious, or it is also the expansion of your consciousness, right? Because that's the evolution, it's growing pains, right? Your consciousness is a balloon that is just blowing up inside of your brain, and it can cause you headaches. But what I can definitely say is if you are going through a migraine, please drink a lot of water, okay? I want you to get really nice and hydrated, and try to rest. Just literally lay down, and I want you to rest, and try to clear your mind. Feel your heart in your energy right here. What you're going to do, Virgin, is if you can feel your energy, if you can feel your heart, it will literally send pulsating waves of healing to you. So it can help ease the pain. But you got to rest and you got to focus. And just rest and focus on your heart, and it will trigger it off. I'll help you out with that too, of course. Hazel, you say they bite you? Yeah. Oh, shit, yes. Oh, they do a lot of stuff. And I feel it too. You know, when I astral project, I feel things. I know a lot of people, when they astral project, they're like, oh, it's just like you're a ghost and you can't feel anything. I'm like, no, when you have enough energy, you can touch and you can feel things. So when I for example, when I'm touching one of your spirits, giving them a hug, I feel the hug. Like as I'm in my astral projected body, I feel the hug. And so I feel when they start nuzzling on my neck, getting ready to bite me, and it's like, ah, get off, you little bastard. You know? Orca, you say, it all makes sense now to cut off negative thoughts, right? This is why I'm like, do the inner work, right? Because if you get rid of the energy that is constantly circulating in your solar plexus, it literally generates the negative thoughts. So that's why it's like, nah, do the inner work, clear all of these old emotions out first, and then be in control of your thoughts. So these little bastards can't feed off of anything, right? Because like I say, that like I'm telling everybody, when you get to a high frequency and you have not developed the understanding of what is going on with these conscious or subconscious entities, they feed like nobody's business on you. Okay, so now don't get me wrong, it takes a while to come into the realization, to be in complete certainty, to get them out of your life entirely. However, whilst you're going through this process, you just don't want to keep feeding them. You just don't want to feed them. That's all. Just don't want to bloody well feed them. And make it easier on yourself. Virgin, you say, okay, thank you. Yes, I will. Wonderful. Oops, sorry. You got to see my bits there. So let's have a look here. So, anywho's, that was a very, very long explanation for Hazel there. I hope that answers your question. But although I did ramble a little bit as to, you know, how much I hate them. So let's have a look here. Okay, I will watch your inner work videos. Yes, please do. If anybody wants to, of course, start on your inner work, to start clearing out this negativity, I have some inner work guided meditations. I have some for healing, of course, which are just like, you know, going through general inner work, or deep trauma kind of inner work healing. Then I have another one for child abuse, specifically if you've been a victim of child abuse. Now that one will work whether it is sexual child abuse or whether it is mental or, you know, physical child abuse in terms of if you were beaten or hit or so forth as well. So it works for severe child abuse. So please do have a listen to these meditations. Now they are just meditations, but really it is guided therapy that I'm giving you in these meditations. They are not meant to put you to sleep. They are meant to literally help you clear out this negativity. So you can expect some tears. You can expect some emotions that will well up to the surface. And when you get those emotions, don't suppress them. Don't run from them. Let them out. It does mean that at times you have to relive the experiences that hurt you the most. But I tell you this, my sweethearts, my loves, my hearts, that you only have to do it once. This is not something that is a repetitive basis. You know, you bring it to the surface, you process it, you understand it, then you let it go. And never let it plague you again. Never let it plague you again. It is part of the healing that needs to be taking place. Nancy, you say, the past few months I clear my biggest childhood trauma and have zoom in frequency vibration, and my just knowing is so clear now. It's unbelievable. Right? That is beautiful, Nancy. That is absolutely bloody beautiful. And it's true, because when that negative energy is out of you, the only other energy that can be within you is love energy. And love energy basically fuels and powers your abilities. It powers your cognizance. You start to think clearly. It powers your empathy, so you start to feel clearly. It powers your horiance, your sentience, your vision, your voyancy. So you start to get crystal clear visions. You start to see into the future. You start to see into the past. And you're like, holy shit, what's happening? Because again, you've done that inner work and you've got it out. All right? So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Righto. So now let me get on to the question that we had before, which is subconscious whispering in your ear. What kind of tactics does it use? Okay, well, I suppose we covered quite a few of those kind of tactics. But what other tactics does it use? Well, it's very, very, very sly and cunning. Okay? I want you to think that when you notice your subconscious, oh, you're very welcome, Hazel. I'm happy this works. And just notice when you see any other freaking women that are creepy as hell in you in the ethereal, just call it out and just be like, yo, conscious entity, bugger off. You know, I'm not confused. I'm perfectly fine. I know what I'm doing. My decisions are my own, so, you know, like, sod off, you little shits. Sorry, okay, I got a little bit excited there. I'll calm it back down. Right, so the tactics that your conscious and subconscious entity use. Now, I want you to think of this, okay? You've got to think of it in terms of a game of chess, of strategy. What they do is they do not, especially when you get into the higher frequencies, they no longer bombard you with just negative, like, oh, you bitch, you whore, you know, and calling you all the names under the sun, because they realize they can't do that. So what they do is they make little micro adjustments every single day as you go along. So, for example, I'm going to give you, can you do a read on my husband? Yeah, Christy, by all means, please post it. If anybody wants a reading, or if anybody has a question, please post it to my profile. Okay, post it to my profile, or you can send me a message if it's anonymous and, you know, you have more sensitive information that you don't really want your name shared to the public. Please send me a message. If I haven't gotten back to you in a while, please just resend the message, because it means that your message has just gone to the bottom and I haven't seen it. But anyway, micro adjustments. So an example, I'm going to give the example for women, right? Because women, we have a lot of insecurities based on our physical appearance and our bodies, because we have been programmed to be this way. So I'm going to give you this example. For men, it's a lot of the time it is lack of self-acceptance. So for men, it triggers you with thoughts of insecurity within yourself. Okay? So who do I want to start with? Actually, let's start with men. Let's start with men, because I definitely want to get more men involved with this process, because they are still 50% of the population. I still love all of them, and I still want them all to evolve with us, because I know women, we are so close to the veil, and we can do so many cool things, but we got to help our men come on board too. Because how many of us ladies are just like, it's my husband, he's not working this out, and it's like, oh shit. So anyway, so let's start with men. Now, the slyness of the subconscious or conscious entity. So for example, you may be a guy, and you're like, you know what? I went through a lot of shit in the past, but I am good now. I am wonderful, and I'm doing well. So what'll happen is you'll go down your path, your merry way in your day. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get a little whisper in your mind. Let's say your wife, your spouse, your girlfriend, or even your boyfriend, doesn't matter, whatever way you swing, that's cool, right? They may put on a nice outfit for work, or to go on a night out or something like that. Now you know that they are meeting up with their sister or their brother or somebody in their family, right? And you know there is nothing sexual going on. Yeah, you'll get a little whisper in your head going, she looks really nice. I wonder who she's going to be seeing. Now the truth of the matter is you're like, oh no, she's going to go see her sister. They're going to go out for drinks. Right? And then you'll tell yourself that, and you're like, oh, everything's fine. But then what the conscious or subconscious will do is it will recall a memory of the boots she bought last November. Now these boots are high boots with a skinny heel, and they look very sexy. They're very sexy boots. Now, she'll put these boots on to go with her sister, and the subconscious will bring up that image. It won't say anything, but it will bring up the image of these boots in your mind. And then it will make you think of sex. So then you associate these boots on a very base level. You associate these boots with sex. So now that when you see her putting on these boots, you now think, those boots are really sexy. So now the situation is completely innocent, but yet you have now a formulation going in your mind. Like, you know what? She's wearing those sexy boots. That's fine. I'm going to ignore it. So you ignore it, right? But then she wears those boots again during the week. Now you have a readily available image and feeling of insecurity. Why is my wife wearing the sexy boots? She wears those boots all the time, right? So now you're kind of like, it's repetition. So she takes off the boots because you know she's not doing anything, but she wears these sexy boots again. So at this point, you're just, now the memory and the feeling gets stronger. So now you're just like, why do you wear those boots so much? And you approach her and you're like, why do you wear those boots? You know what they say about you. And your wife is just like, but I like these boots. I thought you liked these boots. But you, because you have been fed these images that your subconscious knows you associate with sex, which then, if your subconscious can get you to associate these shoes, which is just leather and maybe some wood in the heel, which has nothing to do with sex, but because it has gotten you to associate this image with sex and to recall these feelings of insecurity, then when she wears these boots, you think she is having sex with somebody else. Although you know in your mind, in the truth of the matter, you're like, that doesn't make any logical sense. But here's the thing, when you're a guy though, it's hard to suppress those feelings. The thoughts, you know, they keep on loop, just kind of like, who's she trying to impress? Right? Who is she trying to impress? And it's like, nobody. She just likes the bloody boots. But then all of a sudden you have these thoughts formulating, and now you've addressed it with her, and she's just like, but I'm fine. I'm not doing anything. And because she says, I'm fine, I'm not doing anything, you still get the thoughts, which then you're like, wait a second, no, you must be lying to me. You must be lying to me. And I don't like this, you know. You wouldn't wear those boots unless you are trying to attract somebody because you know they're sexy. Because your subconscious keeps feeding that to you, keeps feeding this feeling to you. So then a man is easily manipulated over a longer period of time to believe a false feeling, to associate infidelity with these boots. Now, if you believe your wife is being unfaithful to you, or your husband or your partner is being unfaithful to you, what that does is that makes you feel like less of a man. That makes you feel like you cannot keep your woman satisfied. Or it breaks your heart because you think she is going somewhere else. All of this heartache, this feeling of infidelity, this feeling of betrayal, all came up because the subconscious gave you the image of some frickin' boots and associated that image with sex. So you can see how offhand and how tricky that little bastard is. Now, if you're a guy and you can recognize that from the get-go, so sexy boots get put on for the first night out when she's going out with her sister, right? And when you can just be like, when you get the image of boots and sex, you'd be like, what a stupid notion. That is absolutely crazy. My wife loves me dearly. You know, I treat her with respect. I treat her with love and admiration. We've built a wonderful family and foundation together. She loves me just as much as I love her. Why would I associate boots with sex? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. As a man, when you can have that kind of control, then that subconscious can't get to you because you are looking at the situation in its truest form, right? Sorry, we've got here, Christy, you're thank you. I will preach this all day long. I'm going to go on with women next. Adam, you say very sexy leather though. With your wife, of course, on this chat too. Oh, bless you guys, you're cute. It doesn't matter how sexy the leather is. Goodness. Jade, you say, I love how you've put this. Nail it on the head. Right, but this is the pattern. It follows. And when you raise frequency, you can identify that pattern to its deepest core the way I have just identified it for you and giving you an example of what is happening, right? How you are being manipulated without you even knowing it. Now, that's an example for men. Now let's give you an example for women, okay? Now women, we get this very, very hard as well, especially, and I'm going to go again with the image kind of thing. because we have to combat so very much. But the subconscious knows that. So, hello, Consuelo, my sweetheart. So, I want you to picture this, okay? You are a beautiful woman, all right? You're beautiful. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you may or you may not look like the ladies in the magazines, because it doesn't matter. I don't look like the ladies in the magazines, nor do I want to, because it's a lot of Photoshop at the end of the day. But still, I don't look at the ladies in the magazines. And I get told I'm beautiful every day, and I appreciate that so much, because I think it's a wonderful gesture. Or I look at it as people are seeing my light, they're seeing my heart, and not really seeing my face, right? But anyway, so I want you to think you are a lady, and let's say you have recently made a transition where you're just like, you know what, I'm eating healthy, I'm working out, you know, I feel great, and you start losing a couple dress sizes on your jeans because you're getting all healthy and you're looking all gorgeous, right? So the truth of the matter in this situation is that you are beautiful, is that you are getting healthy, and you are looking great in your clothes, right? And people around you are seeing this. Now, you've worked so bloody blastedly hard. You would think that this is exactly how you are going to feel forever. Because what is the other alternative, right? Because you feel real good. So now, the subconscious comes in. How do they work their way in to get you down off of this high of health and bring you back down into a lower frequency? Well, they're going to use lots of different things. You're going to go in the mirror, right? And you are going to literally look at yourself. And you're going to look and you're going to be like, wow, I look wonderful today, right? But then your eyes are going to be directed to a blemish, right? So for me, for example, my teeth are crooked, right? This tooth comes out a lot. And in certain light, it shines like a little tic-tac beacon. So if I were to look in the mirror, I would be like, wow, I feel really wonderful today. And then I'd smile. And then my eyesight would literally be diverted to my tooth, right? This is an example, because I don't really care. I like my teeth. But anyway, example as to when you're in lower frequency and how it works. So my eyesight would be simply diverted to my teeth. And then I was once smiling like, ha! And now I'm like, okay. And then I stop. Okay? I brush my hair, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, the thought comes into my mind. I wish my hair was thicker. Right? Because I'm associating beauty with the images that I see. Because from a young age, I have been bombarded with false images of what beauty is. I've been told what beautiful is rather than feeling what beautiful is. Right? So, I look at I'm doing my hair and I'm like, oh, I wish my hair was thicker. Right? And then let's say I'm taking my clothes off, getting ready to go in the shower. How many women do we take off all our bits and we stand in front of the mirror for a second? Right? Stand in front of a mirror. And we've just worked out. We've lost some weight. We look great. We've never looked better. But yet, we look in the mirror and then we're like, I look great. But then you're like, my boobs could be bigger. My waist could be a little bit smaller. I need to go to the gym more. I think I'm going to reduce my carbs. Oh, I really want a cheeseburger, but no. I'm going to restrict myself now. You know, and this happens every single day. Before, when you first got on this journey, you were fine. But it all started with you noticing your tooth. Because when they can guide your eyesight to where your insecurities lay, they will then conjure up images of what the perceived beauty is versus what real beauty is. So if I'm looking at my teeth and going, that's a little crooked, it's because I have now conjured up an image of straight white teeth, and I see that my teeth are not that way. So then it leaves in the back of my mind, I don't like that. Oh, I'll fix it later. You know, when I look in the mirror at my body, and if I still have a little bit of fat here and there, again, I'm perceiving an image. The subconscious is sending me an image of what beautiful is. And now I'm associating my body with that. But it's a lie. So, of course, it does this every single day. So you went from being, wow, I'm fit and healthy, I'm great, to going back to, oh, I'm still fat, I need to lose more weight. I need to get my teeth fixed. Oh, I should get my nose done. Oh, I need that Brazilian butt lift. Like, oh, I should get liposuction. And then you were on top of the world, and now all of a sudden, there's so many problems. And now we are obsessively going to the gym, or we're obsessively buying a load of makeup or something to cover ourselves, trying to make ourselves perfect for this false illusion. Now, of course, if your subconscious is able to trigger your thoughts of negativity about your image, then it's going to go in even deeper and trigger, because women, we are very complicated. Right? Our minds work differently. We see so many patterns in a lot of things, and we have a lot of insecurity and lack of self-trust. We are constantly seeking a lot of approval or the opinions of others, right? So of course, we now do not like our image. Now that is going to go into the food that we eat. Right? Because we don't like our image, so we associate food with our image. So now we start starving ourselves, or we start binging, or we start on eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia, to try to control that. Now that we've gotten, we're controlling our food, now we are going to try to control the people around us. Right? Because this is what happens. We feel so terribly about ourselves that we control our own lives, but now we're going to control the lives of other individuals. What does that cause? That causes us more anxiety, that causes us more stress, that causes us more fears of failure, right? Because if we want to control the lives of other individuals, so then we start dictating to them. And when they don't listen to us, that makes us feel like we're not validated. So then that gives us less trust in ourselves. And when we don't trust ourselves, we repeat the cycle again. We keep looking outwards for the answers and for validation. And that's where you can go from being, I was great, to, my tooth needs correcting, to, oh, I could lose a little bit more weight, to, I need to control my entire diet, to, I'm going to control the diet of everybody in this household. You know, and everybody's miserable. Everybody's bloody miserable. Just from that stinking little sly subconscious. It is hard. So let's have a look at some of these comments. JD say, I'm past caring what people think I look like. I love me and I am beautiful is within people's hearts, and that's what I go by. Exactly. Jade, we need every single person to do that. Every person to do that. Because when we start understanding that, you know, that saying that beauty comes from within, it really does. It's like I was saying, this could literally be, if my glasses were vibing on the frequency of pure love, I would think these are the most beautiful glasses I've ever seen in my life. I would fall in love with these glasses. They would be like, I would just be like, oh, cuddle me glasses. Because it is the energy that is what is attractive, not the physical outward appearance. How many people, because I definitely know, I know some beautiful women and some beautiful men. But I also think they are some of the ugliest people I've ever seen in my life, because there is nothing but pure black inside their hearts. Right? Tell me, I'm sure you guys know, you all know that one individual or two individuals where they are just absolutely stunning. But they have been labeled the spawn of Satan. And you're just like, I can't stand this individual. They are foul. And then all that beauty, all that beautiful eyes and smokiness and chiseled jaw and perfect abs mean nothing, because all you see when you look at them is disgust, right? How many times have you seen, for women or for men, you see that guy who has the chiseled jaw, who has, you know, the 5 o'clock shadow kind of beard going on, perfect hair, great body, and they come to hit on you and you're just like, ew, no, ew, you're so slimy, you're so disgusting, get away from me. It's because you are feeling their energy, and their energy is foul. Yet, you can have a man who is really just average looking, you know? He may not be the most beautiful man in the world. He may not be the most ugly man in the world. It doesn't matter. But his energy is so bloody pure and beautiful and strong with his light. I swear he can walk down the street and then women's underwear will just fall to the floor. Because they're like, wow, you're stunning. And how many women who are just average looking, who will attract the attentions and desires of every man that is around them, because their light just shines so bright, right? And they're just like, you're so beautiful, and you're just like, thank you. And you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to take your clothes off. You didn't have to do your hair. You didn't have to put anything on your face. You know, you didn't have to mask anything, but you walk down the street and you just see this woman who is just gorgeous. It is the energy. And your energy comes from your heart. So if you have nothing but love in your heart and you can get out of the stupid thoughts in your head, you will see the beauty of everything. You'll see the slyness of the slimy little subconscious and conscious entities. Right? Ali, you say, how are you, my favorite friend? I am well, my love. I am well. Thank you ever so much for asking, and I hope the same for you if you're still watching. You're so sweet. Mary, you say, I think your teeth are beautiful. Thank you. You know what? I really don't care. They serve their purpose. I can eat food, and they're healthy, and I brush with coconut oil, bentonite clay, and a little bit of baking soda, and they're nice and white. So I'm like, I don't give a crap. But thank you. Okay, you say, yes, same here. I was always told what beautiful is, not what beautiful feels like. Right? Screw what people think beautiful is. Because so many people think beautiful is this crap we see. You know? I can look through a magazine, or, you know, the Instagram models or whatever that people want to say. And you'll see these beautiful women, but I don't see their outwardly appearance. Well, yes, of course, they have lovely makeup and a very good shape or whatever. But you know what I see when I look at some of these photos of people? I see sadness. I see individuals who are selling themselves when they don't really want to. You know, when I see men who are trying so hard to be this idea of masculinity that is just so off-putting. I don't see a guy that's like, oh yeah, I don't see a manly man. What I see is a guy that is in pain and suffering. And all I want to do is give him a hug and just be like, you don't have to try so hard. Why are you trying to impress these people? You know? They don't pay your bills. They don't help you get through your emotions. They don't give you a hug and a kiss and say, hey, you know what, everything's cool. Like, why are you breaking your back trying to do this? You know, this is what I see. So I'm just like, yeah, go by what beauty feels like, not what it looks like. Oh, Aruntless, so relatable seeing all the flaws. Right though? Right? Oh. Full of fellow. You say, I'm thankful for today's teachings. Well, I'm thankful that you have listened to them. I am. I'm truly grateful. Thank you. Okay, you say, yes, I have seen average women, men that have such a beautiful energy with such gorgeous partners. Many women and men are so upset by this, but for some, it's because they have such negative attitudes and energy. It's so true. It's so bloody true. Because it's like, I will take you, like, oh, and Nikki, sorry, you say, my mother taught me that the inside is what matters most, so I've always remained to be humble, right? Right, it's beautiful. And it's like, oh my gosh. the things you see, the things you see. You can see two beautiful people together and you cannot stand being around them because you know they're just foul. So much stuff. Anywho, I have been on this live for quite a while now, which I see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank you ever so much for joining me on this live's topics. Now, the next live I'm going to be doing, which will start in just a moment, I'm going to be going through. This one's going to be a little bit longer, so it's no doubt going to take up most of my time for the rest of today. However, this is going to be for an anonymous individual who has asked me for a reading. Now, this individual is male, so we're going to be touching on a lot of issues. Some of the issues that we're going to be touching on is, of course, the spiritual journey, like, you know, being a little bit lost, facing oppression, going through occultism and so forth, and black magic that they have experienced, pornography, the addiction to it, and so much stuff, right? Being ostracized by society, feeling disheartened, and we're gonna, and drama and so forth. So that is going to be my next live. So if you are a guy or if you are a male and you want to hear a little bit more about this, this may be a very good live for you to watch. If you are not a guy and you're just like, shit, I want to watch anyway, or I want to listen to this anyway, please bring it in. Please do. Now, if you found this live very useful to you or interesting, please share it. Share the knowledge. Share it back. You know, I think it's wonderful if you feel that my words have helped you today. Please share it because they may help somebody else to gain more understanding as to what it is that they need to overcome, to understand this stupid subconscious and how to bypass it. You know, so please definitely share this if you can. If you have made donations to me, monetary donations, I want to say thank you ever so much. It touches my heart. That is absolutely brilliant and amazing, and it's so very much appreciated. If you haven't, that is perfectly fine. If you have simply shared my lives before, I thank you so very much also. Because again, that is the energy being returned when we can touch more people. All right. Okay. So thank you so much. I'm going to have a quick drink of water to rehydrate, and then I'm going to be back at you with this live reading. So, I will see you guys in a minute.